So welcome back to Concur Training. In this segment, we are going to learn how to allocate expenses to their appropriate cost center. And in the last segment, we learned how to create the expense report. So now that we have the expense report created, we're going to just continue building so that all of our expenses can get sent to the right place. Let's go ahead and get started. You'll begin by adding new expenses because as of right now, it looks like there are no expenses found and the total amount of our report is zero and the total amount that we're requesting is zero. So in order to change that, you'll come to import expenses. You'll give this a double click and then all of your available expenses will appear to the right of your report in a queue. You'll be able to review them kind of briefly, just look over the expense details, the expense type, and the date and the amount. You are looking over all of them and you are aware of all these transactions and that they are yours. You can go ahead and begin coding them. So let's go ahead and move all of the transactions to our report, and you can move all of them by checking this box above all of the transactions, which will select all three of them, or you're welcome to click one by one and then you'll select move. Once your expenses have been moved onto your report, we'll let you know what each of these little dots mean. This red exclamation point means that there are one or more exceptions associated with this item, which means that your expenses are missing information. This is in yellow because it is telling us that a receipt image is required and it is not found. And this green dot just kind of gives us a little bit more information about each transaction. So let's go ahead and let's satisfy some of these missing requirements for these expenses. Now, you can click one at a time and go through and fill out all of the required operational fields the same way we did when we created the report. Or if you know that you've been on the same job and it's the same store number and all of your expenses have been incurred for that same project, you can click on all three of these at the same time. And you can click edit. Edit one or more fields from the selected expenses. We don't typically use this allocate button. And the only time that you would delete a selected expense is if you want to take it off of your report and put it back in the queue. When you delete it off of your report and put it back into the queue, you have not deleted the transaction. You're just deleting it off of this current report. So for the purposes of making sure that funds are being appropriated to each job, we're going to click on edit. And once you get to this screen, it's going to ask you job number. And we're just going to use one for Walgreens. And then it'll ask you for a store number. And your job number and store number can be found in QuickBase. So make sure you're aware of that information whenever you begin to log your expenses. And you'll know that the computer has accepted your entry because this blue check mark appears. Now you're going to come down here, you're going to come to client. We're going to go Walgreens. It's your Walgreens projects we've been working on. And you're going to come over to company. It says quantum. It's kind of grayed out. And the reason being is because if you'll remember back to our creating an expense report tutorial, we already named in our report header our company as Quantum, and we have already named our department as Quantum. So you don't have to go through and change these. They appear to be grayed out. You can change them if for whatever reason it shouldn't be Quantum, but 90% of the time it will be. And the same for the department. Let's say you were out doing some racking surveys or doing something to support one of our team members on Pivotal side for Department 5001. You would change your department code to reflect Department 5001. But that's not something that happens often, and typically you will select Quantum and you're going to click Save. Perfect. Now, that red exclamation point has gone away. The only thing left that we have to deal with is this yellow indicator that states that we don't have a receipt image. You can come back to this individual transaction by giving it a double click. You can click on Attach Receipt. If you have downloaded the Concur mobile application for your phone, you can quickly snap a picture of a receipt in real time, and in real time it is uploaded into your Concur profile. Here, if you have available receipts, which I have one, you'll have several. So if you stop at Home Depot to grab materials, or if you have any other expense that's incurred that is work related, make sure you snap that picture and it is easily uploaded here into your profile and then easily attached to your expenses. If not, then you may even select a file from your computer and click Browse, and it opens up all of your files, and you can easily click on any of these files and find your receipt. But for the purpose of this training exercise, we're going to collect this available receipt, and you're going to click Attach. Now it's been attached, and this yellow error has gone away. It's turned into a blue, and that's because the receipt image is now available. If for some reason you do not have a receipt, or you purchased something and it did not come with the receipt, if something happened to your receipt, you can attach a missing receipt affidavit. And you'll come up here and you'll go to Receipts, and you'll click Missing Receipt Affidavit. And then you can highlight here, and I'll click both, hit Accept and Create. Again, it is highly encouraged for all of your receipts for your purchases to be included on your expense report. If a vendor did not provide you with a receipt, it is your responsibility to call that vendor or that hotel or wherever you were where that expense was incurred in order to collect that information so that it can match your expense report. When you are finished and everything has a nice check, and there's either a receipt affidavit attached or receipt attached, and you don't have any other errors, you can come up here and submit your expense report. It's going to say Final Review. Are you sure you want to submit this report? You go Submit. It is going to ask you to find your manager for approval. You'll select that person's name and then click Submit Report. When your report is submitted, you'll be taken back to the Manage Expenses Active Reports tiles, and you'll see where this report was successfully submitted and pending approval. That concludes allocating expenses in Concur, and I hope this has helped you today. Thanks for watching.